definition of in there is.
At least you're alive. That's good to hear. Will you come out or open the door at least?
Why would I do that?
So I can come in and see you?
Why would you want to do that?
Arthur, we're worried about you. Everyone is worried about you. The court, the councillors, Merlin, Gaius, the knights. We're all worried about you, and we want to know that you're okay.
As you can tell, I am perfectly fine. Is a king not allowed to mourn?
A king has every right to mourn when something so horrible has happened to him. However, a king should also remember that he is a king, along with a son who is mourning.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, your absence is being noticed. It's been noticed by the court, who are talking, and it's been noticed by the councillors, who are also talking, and it is even being noticed by neighbouring kingdoms, who are becoming uneasy.
How do you mean uneasy?
There is talk that Camelot's new king, cannot support himself, is not a good leader, and is refusing his duties as king, and therefore they are talking. They are being led to believe that the city is more defenceless, and that Camelot would be an easy target for an attack.
But Camelot would never be an easy target for attack, even if the ruler of Camelot was not standing up to the plate. Unless someone is giving information which... What's Morgana been up to?
Morgana? We haven't heard much word from her. There's... After Luther passed, it was... her activity, where we thought she was, what she thought was happening, went quiet, I suppose. Maybe she is in mourning as well.
Morgana. Mourning Uther? You were her maidservant, Guinevere. You know how she felt about Uther.
Sometimes even the loss of people we hate but we once loved, people we remember as not just evil or cruel or dangerous, who we remember as the ones who cared for us and looked after us. We can still mourn them. We may not mourn what they became, but we mourn them. Maybe she was mourning what Uther had become.
Or maybe she's planning a counterattack Camelot. In this case, I must go to the council and create new laws which will ban any witchcraft that she could create.
Arthur, that's a rather large step, don't you think?
I think it's the right step to protecting Camelot's borders against people, magic users, who would try to infiltrate and cause mayhem.
I understand your need to protect Camelot, to protect speed, but who would come under this law? Because, I mean, no offence to the dead, but under your father's laws, that included many people, including women and children who were innocent of nothing more than using magic to help themselves.
And even if that were the case, which is truly undoubtful because any magic user has the ability to be bad, and using magic to help oneself can mean many different things, which doesn't necessarily make them innocent.
A sword can be used for many things. A sword can be used to kill or to hurt, but I've seen it save people. I've seen it protect people.
By slaying others?
By warding off others. Arthur, you... Forgive me for speaking so boldly. Excuse me for speaking so boldly, but you can't just see things as black and white as that. It's a dangerous thing to do. It can lead to dangerous ends.
Dangerous ends such as?
Such as some of the things your father did. That included the mass slaughter of many innocents.
But Gwyneth, you don't understand. Anyone who has the ability to use magic can, and most likely will, use it for bad. I don't have a choice in this matter.
Not... Arthur, this is a very big step you would be taking, and a very dangerous path to go down. What would happen if you found out that not all magic was bad? What if at some point in the future, after you had sentenced hundreds of possibly innocent people to death, you found out, you discovered that there were those who used magic for good, and that they could use magic for good? The implications that would have, you would have killed so many innocents. Can you risk that? Are you willing to risk that, Arthur?
For Camelot's sake, I would do anything to keep Camelot safe.
So you are telling me that you would be willing... You're telling me you would be willing to use genocide against children, against men and women and children, to uphold whatever beliefs your father may have had, whilst twisted by grief and mourning and anger. Arthur, look me in the eye and tell me, if you are going to say that you would do this, look me in the eye and say that you are willing to condemn these people to death. Because the Arthur I know would not do that. Would never do such a thing. Would balk at the idea of murdering innocents.
Why do you care?
Because those are innocent people you could be sentencing to death. And because I don't want to see you go down that road. I saw what it did to your father, and I do not wish it to happen to you as well. Arthur, please, rethink this. Just don't go through with this madness.
Calling your king mad?
No, I didn't mean it that way. I meant that I'm sorry, but it is a bit mad to kill so many who could be innocent, who you don't even know that they are using magic for evil. You have never seen them individually use magic for evil. You would take this, like your father did, on hearsay, on rumor, on I believe that my neighbor is a witch. Their crops are growing better than ours during a drought. And you would take that, and you would use that to condemn people to death. Then yes, I would call that madness.
So, Guinevere, if you were in my position, how would you act?
I would not go through this law. I would wait for more information.
Information on what? We don't have time for information. It could be possible sorcerers and witches and warlocks out there who intend to cause Camelot harm. And since we don't have the opportunity of using magic against these people, we can't defend ourselves. So the easiest way is to eliminate all the threats.
Yes, eliminate all. You keep saying that. Eliminate all the threats. Eliminate the children in the street, the mothers in the babes in their mothers' arms. Eliminate the little girls and little boys who only know that when they throw a stone, it goes further than the others, and it skips more skips than anyone else, and only because they willed it so. And you would take them, and you would burn them to some hearsay of Morgana's movement, to some rumour of an overactive imagination. You would do that. Arthur, I know, would not do that.
I think you've overstepped your bounds, Guinevere.
I'm sorry, my lord. I didn't mean... I don't want to see you go down this route. I don't want to see you turn into your father. And I'm sorry if I overstep my bounds, but I do not regret it.
You seem to forget an important fact about my father, Guinevere. He led Camelot through its hardest days, and he came out with Camelot being better than it was. Now that we don't have to worry about sorcerers and witches and warlocks using their powers to usurp fellow citizens' crops, their livelihood, their life. We don't have to worry about that because of the laws which my father put in place.
I know that. I understand that, but your father was a different man to you, and he was a man who believed that the suffering of a few, the death of a few, would make a city stronger, would make it better. But what he didn't count on was the fact that whilst this was going on, he was alienating his daughter, his cousin, and he was turning her against him, and that she became the biggest threat to the kingdom of all. He did not anticipate that there were many other sorcerers out there who became angry at what he was doing, and therefore took more drastic action against him. That also happened, Arthur. People he loved turned against him because he could only see through his hate.
But you don't understand. The only person I have hated in my life has been no one. No. The one person I've hated was... what's her name? The witch who killed my mum.
Nimue.
And I had reason to hate her. She ruined what could have been my life, and she ruined my father's mind.
I understand that.
I haven't got my point across.
I'm sorry.
You say that my father had people turn on him because he only saw hatred. The only person I've hated Nimue, and I've accepted people close to me, I've allowed them close to me, and only to be betrayed by them. I don't see my father's route being such a different one than the one I was on.
You can... You can change that route. Once we're set on a route, we don't have to stay on it. And you still have people who would never betray you. The knights, Merlin, Gaius, me, I would never do that.
See, everyone says that they will never betray me, yet it's just because they can't see the circumstances that would lead to said betrayal.
It's No one can see into the future, my lord, not even you. And I do not wish to see you risk your own self, your own morality and the goodness inside of you because of a moment of anger or a moment of grief. I do not wish to see you do that to yourself.
What would you suggest I do then, Guinevere?
I don't know, my lord. I'm not your counsel. I'm just a servant.
But a servant, the servant excluding Merlin, who I hold above all the rest in my manners of trust.
Thank you. Maybe if Morgana is out there, then I may try and enlist the sorcerers of Camelot. I would make them understand that I was not my father, and make them understand that there is something coming that would threaten not only Camelot, but them, their families, their lives, and I would ask them to help. And I believe that those with good magic inside them, those who know that there would be no repercussions, none at all, for revealing their magic, would help, would protect Camelot alongside your soldiers, alongside the knights.
The only issue I have with that plan is that there would be repercussions, but only I can't allow bad magic to happen.
I understand that, but is it worth it? Is that blood on your hands going to be worth?
Of course it's not worth it. I just can't think of a better plan.
Then do battle. Go down there. Go out of the room you have locked yourself in for far too long, from the room you've isolated yourself in for far too long. Go down to your people, go down to your councillors, go down to your court, and see what they have to say. See what they know, not what they hear, not what they think, but what they know, and go from there like you have always done.
That sounds like a promising idea.
I'm glad. I'm glad that suits.
Thank you, Guinevere.
It's no. Don't worry about it at all. I just don't want. I don't want to see you become something you will hate. I don't want to see you become something that you will wake up 10, 20, 30 years from now and look in the mirror and decide you hate more than anything? I've already seen that happen with Morgana. I would not let that happen again. That took a totally different turn from what we were talking about.
Yeah, that was a
like that
great. Yes, that was a lovely turn.
That was a lovely turn. I'm very proud of Guinevere right now. Doing some good things.
Yeah. Bang on.